guys, welcome to the Into the Microwave Oven podcast. Here today are your hostesses, Kirann
and Bree.
I don't want to tell you what happened. I don't.
I'm gonna leave you alone with that being the only weird intro.
Look. I practice this intro in the shower, and usually it's good. But sometimes there are times I get distracted and I say the wrong thing, and it's not cool, man. Not cool.
You almost got it. Almost.
I almost said juniper because I was looking at the Discord. Yeah,
I've almost made that mistake a few times too. Then.
Yeah, I was like, oh no. Okay.
Right. I'll let it slide this time.
This
you live it down.
Okay, sheesh. Okay, so today we were supposed to do like something deeper than this, but we didn't feel like it.
Yeah.
We weren't willing yet because we don't have enough. So what we're gonna be talking about is what manhwa, manga, anime show we're currently watching or reading. Anything we're like pretty much into. Why we like it, what's good about it, what's addicting about it, stuff like that, what it's about. And it's gonna be 1 and 1. So like instead of the musical episode where we had like 5 and we had 30 minutes, we have 1 and we get to talk it for as long as we want. My voice hurts.
It's okay.
I like expended everything on like drama club. I'm like practicing in the shower and practicing to my family and practicing everything, and my voice hurts. Goodness gracious.
You tried your best.
They said I did really good, so I'm gonna take their word for it.
Yeah, they wouldn't lie.
Okay. Do you want to go first with your thingy?
Sure. Okay, so it's actually not one that I'm like currently into, but I read like two. Like I read this one and then I read another one and I finished it, and now I'm in the middle of another one. So this is going like 2 back, but it was really cute. And it's called The Wolf That Picked Something Up. It's a manhwa, I think. And it's basically, like, in the beginning, it starts off like an actual wolf finding, like, a little puppy. Like a golden little puppy golden retriever. And just, like, being like, oh my goodness, all like, oh my god, I don't care about this thing. This thing should, like, leave me alone. But then the little puppy almost gets hurt and he starts freaking out. So it's like little slice of life. They're like in a forest. There are like 3 other wolves as well, and it's super cute. But halfway through, it just abruptly the wolf and the puppies turn human abruptly in the middle of it. Zero explanation.
What?
And it's no comment is made. Like, I don't know, like spoilers maybe, but it just turns human.
No, yeah, obviously
and this comment, and then it gets an actual story.
Obviously this is a spoilery episode, so no one like come at us. Also, can you tell like the audience what a manhwa is? Because it has dawned upon me that some people don't actually know what a manhwa is.
Manhwa is like, okay, so let's start. So, you know, comic books. So comic books are like the word that we have for it in Western places, maybe.
Yeah, I think so.
America, maybe. Anyway, and then maybe if you're more familiar, there is manga, which is similar to comic books, but it's like formatted a little bit differently, and that is from like Japan. Manhwas are more like online novels, like they work like like it doesn't have like a page, and there are several panels in a page, and it's from, I think, Korea, South Korea, maybe.
Yeah.
So I'm not exactly sure too much, but that's pretty much what it is, maybe.
What I like to separate them by is that comic books are more saturated colors that you would see like on prints. Mangas are like black and white with the covers all like nicely done, and they're usually inks. And manhwas are mostly digital and are very like pastel color, stuff like that. They're like
I
one.
think it's like just like it's not over exaggerated, but it's not, I don't think it's pastel, like just normal colors, but not like neon or over exaggerated.
Oh, so a little bit more desaturated than like comic books. Okay.
I don't know what saturated means, to be honest. It
okay, it's like how strong the color is.
Yeah, it's not like neon unless there's like a sign with neon.
Oh, okay.
But it's like that. Yeah, so it's like if you look at an anime and if you were turn that into a manhwa, the colors would stay the same instead of going black and white. Something like that.
Okay. Makes sense.
So yeah. The wolf that picks something up, going back to that, is super cute. It goes from slice of life animals to humans really suddenly. Like right in the middle of it. And so let's start with the animal versions first. It's a wolf and a little puppy, and it's like little clips of like each thing, like when they first met, which is like the puppy just walking up to the wolf and snuggling in because warm fur. That's it. And then it shows like little clips of like the little puppy doing stuff and the big wolf looking after. It's actually, if you've ever seen it, it's somewhat similar to like Pixie and Brutus.
I was gonna say, like, is this Pixie and Brutus?
Yeah, except it's a wolf and a puppy instead of a dog and a cat. And Brutus is more open than the wolf in this story.
Okay.
Because he's like looking out for Pixie and making sure that Pixie knows this, while in the wolf that picks something up, I don't think they have names.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Just wolf and dog.
Yeah, wolf and puppy.
That is a
but
tough
puppy.
But
the puppy grows up for a couple of scenes.
I'm not really following. Is this like, is there an overarching story? Is it more like true to slice of life?
It's just like little. Okay, so like I said, it gets a little weird halfway through because it just suddenly becomes human versions, and it's not like the wolf turned into a human and the puppy turned into a human. It's like all of a sudden they're humans in a human setting.
That's really funny. What?
It's really weird. Okay, so the first one, like I said, is like Pixie and Brutus, where it's just like little scenes of like their life or little shenanigans that they get up to, like one point when the puppy is grown up and like now bigger than the wolf because it's like a golden retriever, so it's the puppy is now a big puppy, full grown, and like tackles the wolf because the puppy saw a snake, and then like something like that. It's just little bits and slices, them playing in a river, that kind of thing. But then, like I said, halfway through, it's suddenly a human man finding a small blonde child in his potato basket.
Did you miss a chapter? Maybe the author said something?
No.
Or was this...
Maybe, but it's like really suddenly, and like they sometimes show like the human version of them, like they'll dream and then they'll see the wolf or the puppy version. But other than that, no comment is made. So I might have missed something, but I don't think so.
Maybe it's a metaphor? Symbolism? Maybe?
No, because then in the human version, it turns fully fledged. Like, the wolf is like a mafia guy, and he's like resting right now because he was like stabbed and betrayed. Then he finds the child, and he's like, okay, well, I guess I'm keeping the child because nobody's missing a child right now. And it's like, what?
Bree, I am so confused. What?
Yeah. Oh, and the child, like the human version, the child acts like a puppy, so like on all fours, doesn't know how to talk, that kind of thing.
I am really confused. Maybe the author made changes.
Yeah, I think that's what happened. It was really sudden, but it's like the same characteristics of before, but then it's put into human version now and given a story.
That is so funny.
And like I think like the hints that they've been giving so far, at least, is that the blonde human, who's like, I'm gonna call him Puppy still, the puppy as a human, like had a mom, but then was like kidnapped and then presumed dead. And then they were gonna try, like they were the puppy, the human puppy, got kidnapped, was gonna be held for ransom, but then that fell through and he was presumed dead. So I think he was abandoned in the woods and raised by wolves, dogs, not sure, and then found his way to the human wolf, who is a mafia member. Yeah, that's as good as I can guess right now.
I am real confused. I don't think there's a right or wrong theory right now, because there's literally no way to explain that, you know?
No, because like it's half of it so far has been as a wolf and a puppy, but then abruptly it's the same characters, just like as humans. And now it's got a story and giving like hints. Super cute though, you know? Very cute.
I like the dynamic. I'm just confused.
Yeah, I was a little shocked when I realized that they weren't, like, I thought it was like a one-time thing, because like they'll do, like, I thought that was like a one-time thing, like here's them if they were like humans, or like I think there was one that was like, here's them as like the puppy was a baby tiger and the wolf was a full-grown cat, and then like they did that one time. I thought it was gonna be like a one-time thing and then go back to the wolf and puppy, but it didn't. So I mean, now you're making me think maybe I did miss something, but that's generally it. It's super cute. I can't wait to see more. Yeah.
What's like addicting about it?
It was just like super cute. Like at first it was like super short stories of like this wolf and this cute little puppy, and I was like, oh, she was like a little golden ball, and it was so cute seeing that. And then they turned human, and that was a little shocking, but they still look cute, you know. And then it started doing story. Like the very last chapter I read was almost a cliffhanger, but like I think there was like a part 2, luckily, so it got resolved. Like almost a cliffhanger, but there was a part 2, luckily, and it was like here, have some plot. Like okay, you know, since spoilers are a thing, in the latest chapter I read, the puppy as a human had like a negative reaction to like needles, and there was like a whole flashback of him like in a van and like I think younger. That's why the thing I think about that he was like kidnapped but then presumed dead kind of thing happened. That's what I think is going. That's why I think that's the direction it's going in, because of that flashback. Okay. But yeah, it's super cute. Their interactions are absolutely stunning. The art super good, and I just love it. Just a nice way, because I was reading this while I was doing homework. I was like alternating, and it was like a good way to keep me motivated and like doing homework and stuff. So yeah.
Can you tell me what it's called again? I want to see this art.
The wolf that picked something up.
Oh, okay. What do you rate it?
We're rating it.
I mean, you can. Oh,
I'd say like it's not finished yet.
This dog is just a ball.
It is, yes.
I found a dog with a human face.
What?
There's one where his face is very uncanny to like how you would draw a human face in this style. It's really funny. I'm
Really?
sorry. It says,
Yeah.
it says, Boz, did you have a nightmare? And I'm like, your face.
You want to show me that one because I don't think I know what you're talking about.
It's like the wolf has a very wolf face, and then this, it's just if you planted a human face on a dog.
Like how it's like 2 dots, a small nose, and then
no.
Oh, hold on, you're a little bit. You know, maybe this was the transformation that I missed.
It started on chapter 10.
Like it was like here, half human puppy thing, and then it became full human.
I'm like really confused because why would you decide dog? This is dog, yeah. But this is really cute. Look, but this dog isn't even. There's one. It looks like an actual dog, and it's not a human.
Let me see. Then I guess that was just like a bad scene that you found.
That's so funny.
It was a one-off scene. It's not that bad to me. Anyway,
it's still really off-putting. Yeah. No one can see this, but go search it up, like the title, and you'll find it eventually.
So yeah, 10. I'll give it a 9.5 out of 10 because it isn't finished yet.
That's a big rating for you.
It is. I don't know because I'm not very good with ratings, so I'm just like, I'll give it a 9.10 because I liked it.
Yep, 9.10.
9.5.
I mean, if you want to rate it a 10 out of 10, you could have just said so instead of saying a 9.10, you know?
9.10 would be 9.1 basically.
Yeah, I know, but it's like 9.9 and then 9.10. I don't know.
Like 9.10.
Yeah.
But no, it's just a little bit higher than that.
I guess. Oh my goodness.
Ignore that.
Did I hear a dog?
No. It was a snake.
A what?
A snake, the game. Sorry, my keyboard is like next to me, and I accidentally pressed it, and it started the game because I had it open next to my homework.
You're just playing Snake.
I was not. I had it open, but I didn't press play. Okay.
That was such a. I thought you meant like there's a snake where you are. I'm like, you're very calm.
A snake just fell on my lap all of a sudden. It's about to eat me.
Oh my gosh. You could be outside. I don't know you.
Why am I outside? I'm inside.
Yeah, but I don't know what your daily routine is.
You know I don't go outside.
I mean, you go outside in the backyard.
That's only during the daytime.
Yeah, the nighttime is scary.
There are more bugs in the nighttime.
Ew. Bugs.
They go to the light, that's why.
Yeah, you're right. Anything else you want to add about this?
No. If any, like, yeah, it's super good. Totally. A little bit jarring when they switch, but it's if you've got a heads up, hey,
go check it out.
So it was very funny. I don't know if it was a good thing or a bad thing to switch, because on one hand it was very sudden, on the other hand it was very funny. But yeah, all in all, very cute story, and I love it.
I think the best joke is when you don't tell anyone. Anything. Like you say nothing.
Ignore everything about the human, and they leave it off on a cliff.
I think that's the best kind of joke. Like you don't even say anything. Nothing is spoken. Nothing about it. It's amazing. It's like shifting everything in the room by 2 inches.
Like leaving a raw egg on somebody's head uncracked for no reason.
Yeah, says nothing about it. Keeps going on their day like nothing happened. Those are the best kind of jokes.
My goodness. So yeah.
That is so
definitely
good. So good. Should I go?
Yeah, I'm all good.
So I'm not really into anything right now, but I could be. Should I talk about? Okay. No. If I talked about the Magnus Archives, it would be a lot of uncertainties because, one, I'm very forgetful. Two, I sometimes don't pay attention. Not enough as I should, you know? My brain, I have aphantasia, which means that I cannot see with my mind's eye. I mean, like, I have very slight, because I can see a little bit. Like, if I had to imagine my drawings because of the muscle memory, I'd be able to see it. But, I can't see. So when I'm trying to listen to the Magnus Archives, it's just blank. I just feel things. And I don't understand. It's like a bunch of puzzle pieces being thrown at you, and you're just trying to frantically piece it together, but you still don't know anything because you don't have enough pieces. You can see a general picture, but you still don't know what that picture exactly is, but you can kind of tell it has some kind of form. This is a very specific description I'm making for no reason. It's because I'm a writer.
It'll probably come in handy later.
What do you mean it'll come in handy? What does that mean?
I know, maybe somebody's gonna go on an adventure, meet a sphinx, but instead of riddles, they ask questions about medical disorders.
You lost me.
You know the sphinx? The thing that gives riddles to let you pass?
Yeah, but I don't know what you mean by disorders?
Is that not what it is?
What are we talking about? I was saying the Magnus.
The aphantasia.
Did
I say that right?
Yeah, aphantasia. Okay.
Aphantasia. Is that not a medical thing? Probably not.
Oh, you thought I was talking about the experience with aphantasia? No, I was telling you my experience with the Magnus Archives.
Oh, well, then it'll still come in handy if a sphinx asks you like about aphantasia, because you'll be like, well, a personal experience is that, and then it can be used.
I don't think I have like entirely aphantasia. I think I have like, I can't see. Okay, on that Apple scale, if you search it up, I'm at like a 1 or a 0. So it got worse over the years.
You never know. Sphinx might be like incredibly specific.
I have this one story. I want to tell you before like I talk about my thing, and it's that there was this one time where we were like drawing eyes in your house, and it was like, who can draw this the most realistic? And I was super annoying as a kid, and I liked to be good at everything, and I was a stuck up, but so you could like do it really well. I remember like better than I could, and I was just doing it based on what I could remember, which was nothing. And I remember asking my mom, and she said, oh yeah, Breeze was better. And it and I was like, okay. And you were like, oh yeah, it's because I can see it in my head. And I was like, you're a liar. You can't see things with your brain.
I do not remember this at all.
We were very young.
Per usual.
I only remember this because I had an ego back then, which is like non-existent. It's non-existent now. I kind of wish I had it.
Oh, same.
Okay, anyway, I was really jealous. I was like, wow, I want to draw better.
Aww. Well, now you can.
I mean, that's subjective still. So
Conversation win.
So I'm gonna be talking about. I was gonna talk about the Owl House, but then I realized I couldn't do it without Bree just leaving. So like transcending this plane, she just goes. Goodbye. So I'm gonna give a little hint for the Owl House fandom. I'm gonna say we win. We win. We win. We win. Anyway, I'm gonna be talking about my stuff. My things, because I'm obsessed with my own stories, and I just got out of my writer's block. And how I make my stories is I have like, what's it called? I'm gonna call it a role play. It's a role play for me to like base out everything, like put it out in a safe manner without me having to like write it down, reread what I wrote down, and then scream about what I wrote, but more of a free-for-all in which I could like put down the bases, and then after a while I can tell myself which are the major plot points I want and where I want development to happen. So like, it's all like laid out for me. I just have to take the pieces and put it in places it should go. That's how I roll, and I'll write it and draw it later. And I've been hyper fixating on this one character named Alkaios, and he's basically this very immortal healing demon. So how my mechanic in my world works is that he comes from the realm Desmos, which is basically a whole realm of demons. Naming I will be doing later, because they're not going to be called demons when I'm done, because I think the demon and angel trope is a little bit overused, and I don't want to be like, I don't personally think it's cringe, but I know a lot of people think it is, so I'm like, okay, I'm going to change it a little bit so it appeals to more people. Instead of calling it demons, it's going to be something else. So Alkaios is a healing demon, which is like at the bottom of the barrel kind of demon, since there's like a hierarchy. The top of the line would be like the queen demons, which there's only one technically, and they are very basically like the high hunch, the highest hunch, the tallest ones.
Did you say conch?
Hunch, like honcho.
Oh. When you said queen, I just had a sudden, for some reason, a sudden flash. I was like, chess.
Chess?
Most powerful is queen. Oh, chess.
Chess? Well, I mean, yeah. That is what I was going for when I was making the hierarchy itself, because underneath the queen are the king demons, which have basically the same power without like the same advantages the queens have, because the queens are more susceptible to like gaining power and having more knowledge naturally on how magic works and how to use like loopholes in their magic so they can get stronger. And the other demons just don't have that kind of brain capacity, I guess. It's very complicated if I don't go into depth with it, but I kind of want to talk about Alkaios.
Brain capacity. Whatever, I'll talk to you after the podcast. Tell me about Alkaios.
Alkaios. What are you talking about? Are you making fun of me?
Brain capacity. The other ones are stupid.
Yeah, I guess.
The queen has the brain cell.
The queen has every brain cell. You're making fun of people right now? These fictional characters. Yes. Wow, how rude. Anyway, so Alkaios is this immortal being that's basically, if you can take the oldest person you know, he's probably lived as long as they have, so Queen Elizabeth. Whoa!
Did you just say he was immortal? Wait a minute.
Queen Elizabeth is immortal! Have you not seen the Queen Elizabeth memes?
I've seen the memes, but what? Oops, never mind.
What?
I don't know. You just kind of went from think of the oldest person you know, so Queen Elizabeth, and like that, like immortal, like immortality is basically the oldest person you know. Like, is there something I'm missing?
Well, I mean, you can still be born and be immortal, right?
Yeah. Okay, so that's what you're trying to get at. So like,
yeah,
he's immortal.
He wasn't there forever. It's like he was just okay, whatever. He's like 7,000 years old by the time, you know, like where the story is at now currently. He's 7,000. So I'm going back to when he's like a teenager, okay? And the way the mentality of demons and Desmos work is very not fleshed out yet, so I'm not gonna be trying to do that, because it's all like, well, okay, do they grow slower, or do they have the same like expectancy, like they still have the same development stages as normal humans, but their adult life is much longer. I don't know, but it's something I gotta kink on, you know? I gotta work on the kinks. Gotta work on those. Yeah. I keep using that word. Keep using that word. So Alkaios is basically the childhood friend of the queen currently. What?
Ooh.
Yeah, so the queen that you know of, I won't reveal any names because it's like a big thing when you know what her name is. So they used to be best friends when they were younger, and obviously she was demented from a young age because that's how she was kind of raised to be. And Alkaios is more like he's surrounded by healing demons, so he has a little bit more empathy towards human life, or life in general. So he has a little bit more of a different worldview than she does. And basically what happens is that he tells her, out of like sheer loyalty to her, where healing demon's weak spot is, which is somewhere in the back, because, you know, yeah, oh no, indeed. And the reason... No. Look, here's the thing. They were best friends, and the way that she did it, she's a gaslight girl boss girl biatch, and it's like, she does things, and she kind of, like, forces him to tell her in a way that, oh, you're not loyal to me if you don't tell me this, you know? And it's more of a, okay, I will.
I thought it was like out of the blue. Like, hey, you want to know a cool fact I just learned?
No. She definitely used him for that, you know? Because there's this thing with the healing demons, which, hilariously enough, you put to my attention when we were still developing together, but you no longer are. Just a heads up to the audience. When I was developing Joel, and we so Joel's basically also a healing demon. He was one of the top 3s, and basically how I explained it, that he was in the top 3 strongest in Desmos, was because he worked hard to get there. And the way that you put it, Bree, was that couldn't anyone be in the top 3 if they just quote unquote worked hard? And I was like, you're right.
Well, that sounds like a silly reason. Like, he just worked harder than everyone else.
Yeah. You're right. You're totally right. So I like changed it so that, in change for healing demons being like the worst like thing you can be, because they're just healers, right? And there's like no strength to them, I changed it so that there was another thing they could do, in which they have a higher learning capacity and better understanding of like spells and potions and stuff like that. So they have natural abilities towards other areas of magic instead of their like normal Desmos demon magic, right? So that's what I like used as to fill in that gap. So Alkaios, so because the queen knew about this kind of very powerful aspect that the healing demons have. She found it as kind of a threat, and she decided, you know what, it would be fun if I killed your entire healing demon race.
Right. Genocide.
Yeah, it's genocide. She basically just genocided everyone in his family. She left him for dead, but he didn't die. He was like found. So, what?
Simba.
Did you say Simba?
Was that not appropriate?
It's correct, but hello.
Yeah.
I love Alkaios because no, I won't explain it yet. So
I want to know how he grows. Like, he sounds like he was hurt, maybe a little bit naive.
He was very naive, but he's a very dramatic person, and this shows in a lot of his actions. So basically, when she left him for dead, he basically went to the death realm, which would be like in a different plane. And the Prince of Death kind of did a little wonk. He was like, ooh, he's a little bit hot. And he like kind of left him alone for a second, and he like got revived by a witch.
Excuse.
So the prince.
Is this the death that I know?
No, this is not the death that you know. This is the death that you know's father, who's a hypocrite. He's a hypocrite.
I know the father of the one that I know.
He's a hypocrite. He's like, you can't have a boyfriend. Also has a boyfriend.
He let him revive. Was it like he ran away, or like he let him get revived? Or
it was more like he got very distracted and like left him alone. So he saw him and he like panicked and left.
Then that sounds like he was run away from rather than boyfriend.
Then I spoiled it for you. Sorry. They become boyfriends, okay? So
how does the son not know this?
There's a lot of things that he kept from his son.
Secret of family. One of it. I wanted to hear more about this.
Okay. So Alkaios gets revived by this witch that eventually becomes one of like the most well-known witches. His name is Argyros, which is like silver, I think. Argyros, something like that.
Does it rhyme?
Yeah, a little bit. I'll put it in the chat. Argyros. It's also, I think, Greek, because he wakes up in like ancient Greek, or the equivalent of it, because there's equivalent of Earth and it's in Gaia, but Gaia isn't exactly a direct comparison to Earth, so some things are very different. So he wakes up in ancient Greece, which wouldn't have been around at a time, I don't think, in Earth. So in Gaia, he wakes up in ancient Greece, and he basically falls in love with the culture, and he falls in love with Argyros, and Argyros and him broke up. He had like 8 boyfriends.
How many?
Like 8 until he meets I'm gonna tell you what?
That's it?
Only 8, yeah. In a span of like, in human years, I would say 20.
Okay, that's not that bad actually. So wait, he just 20 years he's on the dating scene. Then for another 1,000 he's off of it because he found his one true love.
I'll get to that.
Is that what you're telling me?
I'll get to that. Okay, so basically, Alkaios, he basically finds Pluto again, which is what his name is. Pluto being like, his name wasn't the king the Death's name, the Prince of Death's name was not Pluto, but he calls him Pluto because he's in that Roman Greek era, and he was like, "You're Pluto now," and he's like, "That's better than my real name." So
don't like his real name.
He does not like his real name.
It's so sad.
I'm not gonna tell you his real name out of respect.
That's so rude.
Look, he does not like his real name because it gives him because his dad is very abusive emotionally, and he does not like his name, so he'd rather use Pluto because it's what Alkaios gave him, and he likes it a lot.
That by he didn't like his name, you meant it wasn't aesthetically pleasing enough, not he's got emotional trauma related to it.
Oh, it's both.
It's not aesthetically pleasing either.
It's really bad. Anyway,
seeing as you're the one who gave him this real name, I'm blaming you.
I'm sorry. I'm sorry. I don't know. So basically, Pluto breaks a lot of rules, and he is accompanied by this witch. It's a brown-haired witch, so she's the Witch of Death, which basically is there to accompany Death and make sure they follow the rules of the Death Plane, which is don't break neutrality, don't mess with your charges, don't fall in love with your charges, don't make sure your charges don't know you're there, and just basically don't exist to them, which basically he breaks all of them.
Amazing. She's gonna have a lot of paperwork to do.
Yeah, that's exactly her problem. She's like, Pluto, please. Please.
Please, I beg of you, stop it.
Please.
All of them.
Please. And the one thing that the Deaths can interfere with is the brown-haired witches, which I'll get to later. So she's like, you're gonna get me in a lot of trouble with your father, and I'm going to cry. Stop. She's just there being like a gigantic block between these two. She's like, please, my job. You're gonna make me die.
And they don't stop it.
There are a lot of scenes where it's like a slow burn, right? So Pluto and Alkaios, they start off as friends and they start falling for each other, and it's very cute because Pluto had a crush with it. Pluto had a crush on him since the beginning, but Alkaios is more like, I'm fun.
Wow.
I like
grounding.
The funny thing is, Alkaios was like, you know what's fun? I'm gonna make this really big organization to take down the queen. So he does. He's
Revenge,
like,
I love it.
Revenge. No, that's what the organization is called in Latin, which is Vindicta, because he's not creative.
It's really revenge.
It's really a direct translation to revenge, and I intentionally made it that way because he's very not creative with names.
You know what this reminds me of? So Harry Potter, Dumbledore's Army. If anyone finds out,
the DA. Oh my god. Yeah.
Like, Dumbledore's Army, what does it stand for?
Huh?
Great, it's a reason to get you expelled. You thought of this name.
Harry. Come on.
So, naming it Revenge. You know, at least it isn't revenge against the queen. That would have been worse.
That would have been worse. Anyway, so he makes this big organization, which you met Joel in, which, I'll get back to that. He makes this organization, built it from the bottom. He gets a lot of people, like thousands of people are in this organization, and they are basically ready to fight this queen. And by then, when he adopts 3 kids, and not like adopts, but more like, you're mine now.
Oh my goodness.
You're mine now because you guys are one of the only healing demons left, because obviously you can't do mass genocide and have everyone taken out. There's gonna be some who like escaped, and these 3 kids happen to be some of them. And their names would be Anita, Dave, which you do know Dave. It's so funny his name is Dave to me. I'm sorry.
I know Dave.
Dave is Diane's brother. You don't know Diane. Yes, you do know Diane. He's one of the healers, if you remember.
Oh, maybe. I just had a vague memory, but then it disappeared. It's like a dream.
Okay,
like
and
right after you wake up, I remember the dream. What dream?
The 3rd child was named Joel.
No.
Yes.
No.
Yeah. So something happens with Joel. He basically has a girlfriend, and by like teenager he has a daughter because, you know, teenagers. And no one get pregnant at teenage years, please. I'm not encouraging. No, but it happens, and that happened. And basically what happened is that Xavier, one of the Queen's espionages or whatever, like killed off his wife and child, Joel, I mean. And basically that would be important in the future. So this is the final battle for Vindicta, right? So Pluto and Alkaios, basically. Alkaios like goes up to Pluto and he's like, I'm going to this battle, right? And either I win or I die. So, or I die, and either way you'll see me, right? Because I'll be dead and you'll be in the death plane. You'll reap me, and that'll be that, and you'll never see me again because you're not allowed in the afterlife. So if I live, do you want to marry me? And this is a whole thing that happens a lot. He always asks Pluto to marry him, but that's kind of the one thing Pluto just cannot allow to happen, because then that would be a certainty in which his father will find out about this.
Oh, that's not how that works.
That's not how it works. His father's gonna find out. So his father finds out, yippee-ki-yay, and this is the one time that Pluto's like, I'm going to not listen to you, father. So Alkaios is fighting. He loses his 2 children, Anita and Dave, to the battle. Anita died due to Joel, who's basically betraying the whole organization because of the whole trauma thing with Xavier. And I won't tell you the steps that happen behind those, because this is only about Alkaios, okay? Joel, I don't like you.
Joel doesn't get an episode.
Joel won't get an episode yet, but Alkaios is at his final straw. He is basically very weak from healing so many people and fighting a lot of people too. And basically he's just watching his whole organization falling apart. He's about to win until he finds this very, very powerful witch named Marshall, in which he didn't know would be in this battle, nor did he know he existed.
Again?
You're like... What?
It's this guy again. It's this guy.
It's Marshall.
It's Marshall. It's always Marshall.
You hate Marshall so much. But yes, so Marshall's back, and he basically is about to kill Alkaios. And Pluto comes in, and he's like, yes, Alkaios, I will marry you after we win this. I will help you beat this guy. Alkaios has the exact same reaction as you did, gets impaled by the dagger that Marshall has that is infused with magic to put him into this pocket dimension that he gets stuck in for 3,000 years.
You sound like me. If I was in his shoes, I would have died.
Yeah.
I would have been set the fuck down.
So Pluto's basically scarred about that. Pluto is so...
Wait, I need a minute.
Pluto is very scarred because that's the one choice he felt like he should make. And in the future, it just kind of goes to show that he's no longer able to make decisions.
That's gonna impact. Oh, he's definitely gonna project onto his son.
Oh, you're right. You're right. He projects so hard.
Of course he does.
Okay, 3,000 years passes, and Alkaios feels like 5 minutes. He only felt 5 minutes in that pocket dimension healing himself, because that was a fatal injury for him already. Because that was infused with a lot of poison, I must say. He comes back, and he's met with this new organization. It's named Kaze, which is a very direct... it's very direct to wind in Japanese. I'm gonna change this name. This is the name I'll change. And he's met with this other witch. Her name is Vervain, and this other witch named Adriel. And they're like, we did a thing. Who are you? And we did a thing. Because he was basically stuck in this pocket dimension, and the only way that he can get out is if someone had Marshall's spellbook and, like, use an incantation to get him out, in which...
Penelope?
No, a spellbook. It's not Penelope, no.
Oh, okay, never mind. Sorry.
So he gets out because of that. Vervain gets him out, which is, Vervain is Marshall's daughter, but she hates him, don't worry. She's on the Kaze team, don't worry about it. And he's like, did we win? Where am I? He doesn't know that. He just woke up. So basically, they show him around the ropes. They basically have the same goal as he did back in Vindicta. He gets the role of, like, advisor, because he basically still knows a lot about the queen, because he knew her personally. And yeah. So,
and when did they get reunited? Don't get me.
So basically, Alkaios is in this new organization, and he kind of has to, like, overcome his trust issues, because Joel is redeemed in this organization. And he's like, I want to hate you, but you're also technically my son, but you're also the one who killed my whole family, my found family, but you're also my son, and you also killed my I don't know. He's kind of like, I don't know what to do with you. I don't know what to do. So he has to kind of, like, deal with that. And Ziel, the new prince of demons, the new prince of death, is in here, basically has a boyfriend. His name is Mendel. He's an owl familiar. And Ziel is like, Dad, you don't understand me. He's like, Dad, come on, I can't, because Ziel gets very attached easily to his charges. He's like, I want to get to know your life, I want to get to know everything. He's basically like the readers, right? He's like, he would be like the audience. He'd be like, I'm very invested in your lives. I wish I knew you personally, and I want to be your friends. I feel like I am your friends because I'm in your journey technically. And he basically just breaks every rule too. And Pluto, when he finds about Alkaios, is when he comes down to check on his son Ziel, because he's supposed to procreate. So in which he had to.
What?
He had to create a child with another, like, mortal being. That's kind of a rule. It's a rule. It's a rule in the death plane. You have to, because the death thing, the way that it works is that you need more with the ever-growing population. You need more death, and since they are doing it in multiple timelines, in multiple,
so basically, understaffed have children.
Anyway, so he comes down and he sees Alkaios, and he's like,
Where? What?
Where did you come from? Oh wait, actually, I forgot to mention. When Alkaios, like, quote unquote, got into the pocket dimension, right? I gotta tell you what happened to King and the brown-haired witches, in which the king got so enraged at Pluto's witch, which her name is Audrey, and Audrey was like so trying to defend him at this point. She's like, your son didn't mean to, your son just is not clear in the head, you know, and he's a child, right? He's a teenager, don't hurt your son, please. And he's like
like responsible parent, but when push comes to shove, will stand up for him.
Yes, he's like, she's like, please don't hurt your child, he'll be better, I promise, I'll do this. And basically the king of death is incredibly pissed at this point and decides, you know what would be fun, I'm gonna genocide your people, and he kills off all the brown-haired brown-haired witches.
Wait a minute. Then doesn't that mean that he broke the rules?
No. No, the only thing that the deaths have any control over would be the brown-haired witches, because they're very closely intertwined.
Oh, so genocide of the brown-haired, doesn't count as breaking the rule. That's an unfortunate thing.
So Pluto's also scarred by that, and he's like,
like, brown hair witch, shouldn't you be dead like twice over?
a little. And basically what happens is the demons, the deaths don't usually show their like truer forms in order to like appeal to what humans see them as. So like humans will like typically see them in like black garments with their like big sticks, big sights, and like typically to like appeal to what they would see death as. And usually they don't show what they look like because humans can't comprehend what they truly look like. So basically in this truer form, they don't have like those kind of human empathetic emotions, in which he kills his father.
The father is the one who did the genocide.
Yeah.
Awesome.
But that also means he becomes the king of death, in which that means he has to be forced to have a child. So he has a kid so that... What?
Queen bee style? Like, you know how bees, they have like a single queen bee that gives birth to all the worker bees?
No.
So queen bee style.
Oh, no. These deaths are not related to each other, most of them. So Ziel is directly his son, because he needs, like, just in case he gets overthrown, it will be Ziel's place as king.
Oh.
So yeah, so
like other deaths also have kids.
Yeah, they have to have kids in order to like grow with the times. Okay. And basically what happens is that so we're back. He sees Alkaios for the first time in like 3,000 years, and he's like, bro, what?
The evidence.
He's like, you gotta understand, this guy is so touch-starved, so love-starved in ways that no one can really understand, because he thought that he would never see him again, even in spirit. He would never reap him. He would never have that kind of closure, right? Because he thought he died, but he never could reap him, because that was his punishment. Because if you break neutrality, you have like some kind of thing that happens to you personally, reflecting that of what you've done to break that rule. So basically Ziel caused the Black Plague, and that was so casual. Ziel caused the Black Plague. It was an accident. Ziel caused a lot of deaths by accident. He broke neutrality by causing... Huh?
And he never learns?
No, he didn't directly do it. He decided it would be really fun to like prank someone. And it didn't end well, in which it caused the Black Plague in some way, shape, or form. And now his extremities are blackened, in which that's kind of his punishment, right? So Pluto, he messed with neutrality, and now he can't, like, whenever he feels extreme loss or something, he will feel it in much more extremes, right? So he sees Alkaios, and it all kind of comes flooding back, and he kind of just has to like stop himself from doing a lot of things, and it's
so
more
he just, like, pass out princess style.
No, they kiss, and then he like runs away. He's like, I wasn't supposed to do that, and ZL sees this, and he's like, this is BS. This is BS. Dad, this is BS. What was that?
He realizes later what kind of blackmail material he has.
What?
I hope he realizes later, once he's calmed down, what kind of blackmail material he has.
ZL does not know anything about Alkaios. Pluto did not mention this to anyone. He didn't want anyone to know about it because it hurt too much, right? So I'm gonna leave it off from there, and basically it's a push and pull, right? Alkaios wants to be with him because basically the last thing he heard from Pluto was, yes, I'll marry you, and Pluto, as far as he knows, cannot make a decision, and that's why nothing in Death Plane changed. None of the rules changed in order to accommodate oh, you have to have a child, oh, you can't have a homosexual relationship because you can't reproduce, oh, you can't, like, have relationships with anyone other than that, and, you know, you can't break neutrality. He doesn't change any rules that his father made because of that kind of mental blockage whenever he has to try to make a decision, in which nothing changes then, you know? So ZL is like,
it just feels like overwhelming loss, and he can't get himself to change him.
He can't change anything because the way he sees it is that the one time I stepped up and made a choice, I lost everything. I lost my witch, I lost my father, I lost Alkaios, and it was just more of a whole thing for him. There's a mental blockage he cannot overcome easily, and Alkaios is kind of there as a constant remembrance of, you know, if you slip up again, this is gonna happen again to you. In which he keeps pushing himself away. He's like, get away from me. Get away from me. Don't come close to me. And Zeal's like, this is BS. I just want to be with my boyfriend. This is BS. You have a boyfriend, Dad.
Like, what drama? Wow, the absolute audacity.
The audacity. It's so fun. It's so fun because I love Alkaios. He's such a dramatic character in which he puts things in extremity. So he decides one thing. He's like, oh, I'm mad at a queen. Therefore, I will make 1,000-member organization in order to take her down. He's very extreme in many choices he makes, and Pluto is kind of his foil in which he can't make any decision. And it's really fun. It's really fun to make those decisions because Alkaios constantly asks him again, like, do you want to marry me? Do you want to marry me now? What about now? No?
I want to know how their dynamic changes, because like 3,000 years pass for Pluto, the one who, you know, was left traumatized, but only 5 minutes passes for Alkaios.
So Pluto was more, so after the 3,000 years, Pluto is more like strict. He's to the rule book. He doesn't want he's older. Yeah, although like there's a lot of technicality when it comes to mentality, they're both adults, right? Alkaios does have that mentality, like, I understand where you're coming from, but oh my gosh, please. And Pluto's more of like I'm strict now. I can't break any rules. And back then he was more like, neutrality, what is that? And and he's a father.
He's a father now.
He's like, I gotta be responsible here. I gotta think about my subjects and what they want, what's best for them, and I have to rule with like an iron fist. Because if I can't follow my own rules, then that means they can't either. So he's basically more uptight, he's more closed to things, and he doesn't like opening up as much as he used to. And he takes on an older form of himself, so he doesn't look the same as Alkaios knew him by. That's why on his character sheet you can see like 2 forms of him. If I didn't show you, I'm not sure.
No, I don't think you did.
I'll show you now. So, I'm done, basically. Do you want to do the outro?
That was amazing. Well,
Thank
now that
you.
we're done, I can let you all know that you guys can go radiate your favorite hot pockets and boil some tea. Good night.